Man, how hard to prep for this video. I'm gonna have to go drink and watch some TikTok for maybe 30 minutes before I can actually come back. Hello there, my name is Mackenzie. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for being here. Today we're going to do something really fun. I'm very excited about it. It's probably going to be more of a staple on my channel. I used to do a get ready with me and spoiler talk kind of video where I would do my makeup and we would talk spoilers on a book that I either loved to death that I needed to gush about it, or spoilers about a book that I hated and I really needed to talk about how much I hated it. So I have a whole playlist of that if you want to go check that out. That's fun. But now what we're going to be doing, I've kind of shifted away from doing get ready with me videos because it's a lot on my face. I don't really like to put on too much makeup, so I do a film day of makeup and that's it. So with these videos, I have dubbed them drunk plot points. A la Drunk History, okay? So what I plan on doing is giving you the summary. It'll definitely have spoilers because I'll do the whole book, but the summarization of a book that I either love or don't love. Maybe people say it was confusing, or maybe I just really didn't like it. I kind of had this idea when I was doing my video where I was reacting to reviews on Goodreads. They were bad reviews of my favorite books, and a lot of people were talking about how The Starless Sea was very confusing. And I was already into my cups. I was well into my cups, okay? And I decided to see if I could recall what happened in The Starless Sea. So for, I don't know, maybe at least 7 minutes of that video, I'm sitting there in my cups trying to explain to you what happens in the Starless Sea. And you know, I had so much fun filming that part, and when I went back to edit it, I was a little nervous I was gonna look just belligerent, but I was laughing so hard watching myself try to remember plot points of this book that I love so much. So I thought it would be just really fun if we continued that on and kind of make it a recurring segment on my channel. So drunk plot points a la Drunk History. So I'm gonna go get into my cups and then we're gonna talk about Six of Crows. And honestly, this is one of this is probably the most recent favorite I have that I think also corresponds with other people liking it, right? So I like Addie LaRue, but there's a lot of controversy around that. Obviously, I like The Starless Sea and The Night Circus, but not a lot of people do, like, at all. So because I really enjoy this, and it seems like a lot of BookTube and Bookstagram also enjoys this, I thought it would be a good jumping off point for us to go and do drunk plot points. So I will see you back. I don't know how long it takes me to get drunk anymore. I'm just gonna go watch some videos. Man, how hard to prep for this video. I'm gonna have to go drink and watch some TikTok for maybe 30 minutes before I can actually come back. I'm so excited, you guys. All right, I'll see you in a second. Alright, here we go. Six of Crows, welcome back. Welcome back, we have some jobs for you.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
I don't know why I thought this would be so hard. I think I can do this. God, how does it start? Okay, so there's Kaz and Inej. So in Six of Crows, the point of view chapters are Kaz, Inej, Nina, and Jesper. I think Mateus gets a chapter, but I'm not sure. I think it's Mateus too. Kaz and Inej are part of... No. Kaz, Inej, and Jasper are part of the Dregs. Is that what they're called? The Dregs? The Dregs Crow Club. Casper... No. Casper? What? What? Okay. Kaz is like a lieutenant of the Dregs, right? Like, he doesn't run it, but like he might as well because the leader of the Dregs is like asleep. And then there's Inej, who is... They call her the Wraith, which is like super cool. But what she actually is a spider. And you remember that from Game of Thrones. He was a spider, right? She gathers secrets and she gives them to Kaz. And Kaz uses those secrets to have leverage over other people. Because you can always up the ante. Like, if you're gonna bribe someone can always bribe higher. Unless you have dirt on them. Which I think is like the coolest move ever. It's not even a bad guy move. It's like protecting my investments move, okay? Like, I agree. Hard agree. And Nej is with the group because she was kidnapped from Ravka. Okay, so this takes place in Ketterdam, which is like, if this is Ravka, this is Ketterdam, okay? So, Inej was kidnapped from Ravka, taken to Ketterdam, and, like, enslaved into a pleasure house. And it's, like, horrible because, like, I remember reading about this stuff in, like, social studies when I was a child. Like, people would be taken into slavery, and when they got there, they would be like, no, you're not enslaved, but you owe me a debt because I paid for you to get over here even though someone stole you from your family, and I paid for your room and board, and like, you are paying me back by working for me, but by the debt collection that I am doing, you will never be able to pay it back. And it's like, that is the worst ever because I've heard it before in real life, you know? It was just one of those moments where I was like, ugh. And then there's Jesper, who's like a sharpshooter, and like, it's cute because like there's a reason why. And he has like a gambling addiction. Cute. I mean, it's not cute to have a gambling addiction, but it's like sweet to see that these characters that we love have real issues about them because of the way that they have had to cope with real life. You know, like, it's just so... And then there's Nina, who ended up in Ketterdam because of Matthias. And this is like the sweetest mystery that there's ever been, right? Because Nina and Matthias are in Ketterdam, not in Ravka, because of some like series of misfortunes that happened to them. And then they both ended up like together, not together, but like together in the same situation. And they tried to save each other and it ended up messed, okay? So basically, Kaz gets, like, not abducted, but, like, snuck up on by another... Is it a gang leader? It's not Pekka Rollins. No, it's someone higher. It's a market man. Waylon Van Eck. Okay, so Kaz gets come up on a merchant named Van Eck, and he wants a person from Firda. Firda is a country above Ravka. So Mr. Van Eck, wants a prisoner from Firda. So there's this substance called Jurda Parem. No, it's just called Jurda. There's this plant, and what it does is it makes the Grisha's power, like, last longer. It's almost like a stamina thing, and it even helps, like, regular old soldiers. Oh my gosh, I gotta redo my nails. So the Jurda, just the regular plant, is just like a stamina plant, you know, whatever, stimulant. So what the scientists did was, like, extract it and make it bigger, so that way it, like, exponentially expounded on the Grisha powers, right? So this merchant, Van Eck, wants Kaz to get together a little group to go off to Firda to go and kidnap the scientist from the Firdans and bring him back. It's getting there. It's great. That's the plot. I did it, right? That's the premise. Yeah, and there's this whole, like, because the merchant is, like, part of the merchant city council, he's like, yeah, the city council wants this, so, you know, we can put, like, 10 million behind it. So come back. We'll give you 10 million. Sounds perfect, sounds peachy keen. So Kaz gets together Inej, his wraith spider, Jesper, his sharpshooter. He also brings this kid, Wylan, who doesn't have any POV chapters for himself. But we love him, he's a cinnamon roll, and he's Van Eck's estranged son. We don't know why he's estranged, I think, in this book. What is revealed in book 1 and what is not revealed in book 1? Good luck to me trying to figure that out. Kaz, Inej, Jesper, Wylan, and then he gets Nina, who is a heart renderer, which is the body tissue Grisha. There's the material Nikki, the material Naki, the ones who do the bone. And then there's the one with the elements. They do water and fire. Do they do water? I don't think they do water. They do water. Do they do earth? Is that the avatar? And then there's the one that I think Nina is, which is like the body stuff, where like you heal and destroy. So Nina's a heart renderer. And then, Kaz takes that group and they go to break out Matthias, who is in prison, okay? And, like, they make you feel so bad for Matthias before you realize he's, like, a racist and, like, a witch hunter. Like, a racist witch hunter. And, like, before they even let you know anything about him, you get all of the perspective through Nina's eyes, who, like, loves him. And she's like, oh, he has to fight a wolf. It's so sad, you know. And then it's, like, his perspective, and he's like, I'm a racist witch hunter immediately off the bat. And you're like, oh, well, okay. I don't want to make it seem like it's bad, because Leigh Bardugo does, like, an amazing job having Matthias have a character arc that feels real, while also heavily reliant on the fact that he has fallen in love with someone who he previously thought was less than human, as we do. So they have to break Matthias out of jail. They do. They do it by leaving a body double. So because Nina can, like, change your face, that's what she does. She changes the face of the body double, switches them out, they take Matthias back, and he's like, first of all, I hate everybody. He's like, I don't like Nina because she betrayed me and she's a witch. So, and then he's like, I don't like Kaz. I call him a demon, which is fair, but I love him, so get out of here. Doesn't like Jesper because he's too happy? I don't know. And it seems like the only one he kind of likes is Inej. And like, he says it's because she's like kind of serious and does a lot to like save them and everything. But also, he only really likes the women in this group, so I wouldn't blame you. Anyway, where is the story going? So the reason they needed Matthias was because he is Firdan. He's from Firda, and the place they're breaking into is the Ice Castle? I'm gonna keep calling it the Ice Castle because it reminds me of the Ice King. In the Ice Castle, they're keeping the scientist. And because Matthias was like a high-ranking Firdan Druskel, he was a witch hunter. So because he was a high-ranking witch hunter, he knows how to get into the Ice Castle. And here's where it all comes together. So the reason why Nina and Matthias actually know each other is because Nina was at the border of Ravka and Firda, and so was Matthias. And Matthias found her, kidnapped her because she was a witch, and went to sell her to take her back to Firda and sell her into enslavement and or kill her, like, horribly. and like fate intervened and their ship got struck down and they had to like I guess they washed up on the shores of Ravka or somewhere. I don't know. It was cold, I think. Anyway, they washed up on the shores, thought to be the only survivors. They kept each other survived alive, and then they ended up at a port or something. Anyway, they were trying to escape, but Nina was found out by, I think, other Grisha, and was like, hey, are you traveling with that witch hunter? And she was like, yes, he's kidnapping me. And like had to like explain a way out of it so that way one of them would be free. Anyway, I don't know. It was a strange situation. So she sold out Matthias thinking that it would be less than, like, his imprisonment would be less, obviously less than him being killed right away. Matthias gets locked up in that prison, and then Nina stays in Ketterdam because she feels guilty and she's trying to get her testimony, basically saying that he was a slaver, revoked, so that way he can be taken out of prison. So, circling back, Kaz is offering Matthias his freedom by saying, you know, it'll take the slaver mark off of your, I guess, name. I don't know. They keep a book of that. And he'll be able to go back to Ravka or Firda or wherever he wants to be and not be, like, taken for a prisoner. Yeah. At first, he's like, no. But then he's like, fine. Because, like, I don't know why. It's presented very sadly. Like, Matthias really has no other option but to do this. No one in Firda knows he's alive, and so no one's coming for him. The only person who knows he's alive is Nina, and she was there for him. So Matthias takes the deal. It's so funny. Like, I couldn't help but laugh and enjoy every time his chapters were coming around because it was like, oh, Matthias, you are so in love with Nina. It doesn't matter. I'm not worried one bit at all. I know you're gonna betray your motherland. Like, it doesn't matter. You are so in love with Nina. They go to make their way from the docks off to Firda, and as they're going to, like, leave the docks, they get ambushed, and it's a huge, horrible ambush, one where Inej gets hurt, and it's sad, and Kaz comes back like a freaking superhero, like, running back over the crates, climbing crate mountains just to get Inej, like, without his cane? Are you kidding me? You want me to believe he's a cripple after this scene that happens so early in the duology? Like, he parkours all over the place, rescues Inej, carries her back to the boat, and then they take off, like, hero. I can't get over it. And then this is the famous part, right, where he says, like, I always protect my investments, because she was totally like, I'm gonna die here on this pile of crates. Because he totally, I think, was mean to her at the beginning and was like, if you don't come, I'm gonna find someone else. Like, and, like, I think she thought she was disposable, or expendable at least. And then he, like, full-on Superman rescues her. And he's like, I protect my investments. And she is a silly little girl enough to be like, yeah, he doesn't like me. Obviously, Nina, being a heart-renderer, fixes Nina up. No. Nina fixes Inej up. Nina can't fix Nina up. How extensively hurt can Nina be before Nina can fix Nina up? So, on their way to Firda, plan ensues, right? Okay. You know, I used to see all these memes where it's like, understanding the heist at the ice castle? I have no idea. And, like, when I was reading it, I thought I understood what was happening. But now that I'm drunk, I'm not sure if I know what was happening. The ice castle is like a 3-ring, you know Ba Sing Se? Okay, so that's like the ice castle where there's like a couple of rings going on, and in one of the rings is a prison, inner ring is like where the party's gonna be happening. So they decide to get captured by the Firdan people. So they, like, as this, like, buggy cart is taking all these prisoners to the Ice Castle prison. They like ambush it and like switch themselves out with prisoners, and they like keep going on. So like everyone goes to the prison. After they get put into their cells, then the boys and the girls break out of their respective cells and meet up at like the laundry furnace. And at that point, that's when Inej has to climb up the freaking, yeah, that's how it goes. Okay, Inej has to climb up like 6 stories free, like with no harness or anything, and just like make it. Like, and she does. It's amazing. We also realize that, like, obviously Kaz has this super uber, I don't like human flesh at all. And like, when I heard about his touch aversion, I thought I knew exactly where that came from. Boy, was I wrong. That was not a fun thing to read about. I understand why I had to know, but did I have to know like that? So him and his brother move away because they like sold their farm, their father died, they're alone, and they moved to Ketterdam, right? Kaz's older brother, Jordy, this is the saddest story ever, okay? Kaz's little brother, Jordy, gets taken advantage of by some guy doing stock market bullshit, and like, Jordy gives all of his money to that guy in order to invest in a sugar plantation, and like the very next day, the guy is gone. Like, absolutely gone. And they don't know where he is. So they end up going to like the slums basically. And the very next day the plague breaks out. Jordy and Kaz get it, and like they're thought to have been dead. So the body people come and pick them up, take them like, cause Ketterdam's like a bunch of little islands. And so they took the bodies to one of the islands to be burned. And Kaz ended up not being dead. Kaz was alive under all of those dead bodies, being transported with all of those dead bodies, being touched by all of those dead bodies. Waking up, not plagued, and waiting to be taken home. He was like, somebody's gonna have to come, right? They have to burn the bodies eventually, and I'll be here, you know, and I'll get saved. And like, it was not happening. He was gonna die. So he used his brother's corpse as a flotation device to get back to the main city. And like, people I saw this, people were making fun of him, saying that Ketterdam is my mother, she birthed me in the harbor. Yeah, she did. She birthed you in the harbor. That was disgusting. Ew. So after he comes back, being disgusted as all hell, and like, he figures out that the guy who betrayed him and his brother was a gang lord named Pekka Rollins, okay? So he's like, you know what? I'm gonna be a gang lord, and I'm gonna destroy Pekka Rollins brick by brick. That's the way I want to destroy my enemies, okay? I am equal parts in love with Kazbreaker and want to be Kazbreaker, okay? So after they break out, that's when the girls figure out that they can't just sneak into the party as, like, guests. They kind of have to sneak in as prostitutes, because I don't know why. Nina and Inej go to the front and try to pass in as prostitutes. Inej, it doesn't work for Inej because she's... I don't know why it doesn't work for Inej. Just for dumb reasons, right? Like, the guy who let in Nina was obviously taken with Nina, so that way when Inej came, he was more on guard, you know, gave her a hard time, and they kept her back. So Nina went forward and found, like, the most high-ranking Druskel that there was, and, like, started to flirt and was like, where's the scientist? And he's like, let me take you to him. Lo and behold, It's a double cross. That high-ranking official was Mateus's leader, his upper higher ranking, the next guy in charge. It was his supervisor, you guys. And Mateus was like, yep, that's Nina. That's the witch. We gotta get her. So they put Nina into like this cell where they've been experimenting on other Grisha. And it's like explained to Mateus finally that the cult that he's been serving is indeed a cult. And that they aren't actually killing these Grisha because they shouldn't be alive. They're experimenting on this Grisha because they're weapons and not people. Of course. But Mateus didn't need that because it's a double cross. Mateus was using the leader's like belief in Mateus to like allow him and Nina into this place. So Mateus overpowers that guy, knocks him out. They put him into a cell. He gets Nina out. It's so cute for a moment because he pledges his life to her. We love it. And they bust out. Then they go to the scientist, right? And Nina and Mateus find basically a child who's like, oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, every single person is 17. Kaz, Inej, Jesper, Nina, Wylan, Mateus, and then the scientist, 17. Nina and Mateus go to the scientist, and Nina being a Grisha, who doesn't want other Grisha to be harmed at the expense of the new drug, is like, I think I'm going to kill that scientist because I don't want any more Grisha to be hurt. And Mateus is like, I don't even want Grisha to exist, let alone them be more powerful than they already are. So I think I'm also going to kill him. So they go there with the joint intention of killing the scientist, and then they show up and it's not the scientist, but his son. So this son hasn't really been able to recreate the exact Jirta Pardem that they've been needing, but he's only like 17, right? So like Nina and Mateus have this whole like, we can't kill a kid, can we? So they don't, which is funny because I'm like, but if it was the like 40-year-old scientist, you would have killed him? Like, he's your age. You've done things, like you've been in jail, you've survived wreckages, you've already killed other people. Like, you don't want to kill someone who's your age, but you've already done, I don't know, the scientists, and then they make for their escape, right? Jesper, Wylan, and Kaz, I don't really think they're doing much during this time. They make their escape. It's Inej who's like pulling boss moves and running away from like her former like enslaver who enslaved her to prostitution, like the runner of her house, whatever. She like does a whole fuck you, I'm amazing, and like moves on with her day and escapes. And it's super awesome and badass. And then they all make it. It's so fun. And they go to make the drop with Merchant Van Eyck, right? So they go to make the drop and everything seems chill until it's a double cross, and it's an actual double cross this time. So Merchant Van Eyck wasn't working with the Merchant Council. He doesn't have the money to give them. What he does have is greed. So the Merchant Van Eyck was buying up all of the Jirta farms already. So that way he had stock. And then once he got the scientist, he was going to have the scientist start making Jirta Pardem for him. And then he would have the supply of Jirta and the supply of Jirta Pardem to sell to other people. Like, it was one of those, I'm going to double cross you so hardcore because I am a greedy person. Dude, that sucked. So it was about to be a brawl, right? And then Kaz betrayed his one true love by worrying too much about Inej. Van Eyck was like, kill everyone except for Kaz. And Kaz looks to Inej, like through the side of his eye. And then Van Eyck's like, get the girl! And they do! And it's horrible and sad! And that's where the book ends! So, at the end of the book, after Inej is taken by Van Eyck, where do they go but to Pekka freaking Rollins, dude? Kaz has no friends. He has no allies at this point. So he makes a deal with Pekka Rollins for some money. We don't know why. And at the end, Pekka's like, let's hope that Van Eck kills this boy, because if he doesn't, I might have to. And it's like, boy, I can't wait for the next one. All right, I think I got everything pretty crystal clear. My raw footage is probably going to be an hour long, but that's for funsies and for later me. And that was Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye!